Breaking news now in North Hills, a police pursuit. Stu Mandel is overhead in Sky 9. Stu.
We are northbound on Brand. LAPD is in pursuit. We're actually in the city of San Fernando right now. You can see that right there. That is a Kia van. And earlier on, when they were in the Devonshire area on September, whoa, look at that. He got air. He totally got air there. We were on a residential street, and this guy has been driving at insane speeds for the entire time of this pursuit. Like I said, we are in the San Fernando area on northbound on Brand, and that is just some of the shenanigans this guy has been pulling on this entire pursuit. There again, cutting off cars. This one was not so bad. He's really slowed it down right now. Unsure if he damaged that vehicle, but you saw that right as we went live. That guy hit that bump. Incredibly high speeds out here, extremely fast, and LAPD has been in pursuit for most of it. Now, they did back down earlier on when we were on Sepulveda Boulevard, and he actually made contact with another vehicle as he was making one of these crazy maneuvers, and he actually touched another vehicle. LAPD decided to actually back off. They went into the surveillance mode, but then when he got into these darker streets out here and was not slowing down and acting even more aggressively, he actually blew through a red light with major traffic earlier on, and basically just by the skin of his teeth got through that intersection. So they decided to re-engage this pursuit because of the danger he is causing to the public. But again, you can see this Kia van right now. I'm going to get a location for you in just a moment or so. But this is a Kia van. Not sure what the original want was, meaning the original reason why LAPD got behind him. But you can see right now the reason why they want to stop him is because of his high speeds and his reckless driving out here this evening. LAPD airship is overhead, and they are following it. And I understand that there are units trying to catch up and get behind him. But again, you can see him, he slows down a little bit, and then he picks up and he goes to these incredibly high speeds in these very dark and narrow streets out here, which is going to create some sort of problem. Hopefully this will end very peacefully. We've seen these come to end many times when they'll just go ahead and pull over. Another solid red light, blew through that, not even a brake light, and again, passing on parking lanes and making all these crazy maneuvers. You're going to have to give me a second here, and I'll be right back with you.
Driver in a wagon down there, you can see going through the streets of San Fernando at extremely high speeds, all kinds of reckless and erratic maneuvers.
Is there any way you could pipe
Stu's back with us.
IFC through 2?
So Sky 9, we're still overhead this thing. LAPD is pursuing, but it looks like they're falling behind because this guy is driving so fast. Right when we first joined the chase here, you can see that, I'm wondering if this is tape right here.
LAPD
okay, we're showing you some tape right now.
It's a Kia van, a newer model, and again, we're basically, we're seeing him slow down now. This is the first time I've seen him use his brake lights. He went through that intersection a lot slower. And we understand that we're still northbound out here. We understand we're on Glen Oaks Boulevard now. And again, though, you can see him actually starting to pick up a little bit of speed. The helicopter, that's LAPD's helicopter, still overhead, still lighting him up. I'm going a little bit wider now to see if the units are still engaged and in pursuit. We haven't seen any of the units behind him in code 3. I understand that they are still in pursuit. Whoa, look at this, going against traffic, making these wild maneuvers again. And now we're on Foothill Boulevard. We're on southbound Foothill Boulevard, as I understand it. I believe there'll just be one person inside this van, just the driver at this time. That's what we're hearing. And I understand that the units are actually still trying to make their way up to this pursuit and or using other streets to kind of cut this guy off and join the pursuit in another area. Again, you can see this road out here, very windy. This guy using all lanes, oncoming lanes, another solid red light. And this is very curvy out here. You know, this would be terrible to see this guy do some kind of maneuver here as he's going around these cars using oncoming lanes at extreme extremely high speeds. This is over by the 5 freeway, going underneath the 5 freeway right now. I know there's another big bump under there. We weren't able to see if he hit that very hard. Another intersection. Luckily, this is green, but you can see this road out here, not this straight and level type of road that we are used to. Gladly, happily, I can say there's a lot less traffic out here, but again, these are very curvy roads out here. You can see that he's working his way down. I believe this is going to be Foothill Boulevard, maybe San Fernando, going a little bit wider. We're coming up, I believe this is going to be Balboa, and he's going to have to make a turn here. And look at this, onto the dirt, and through the fence and rolling. It just drove straight in there and basically rolled his vehicle. We're right at the corner of Balboa, and I believe that's the old road. Again, you can see the car basically just flipped over there, and he just basically went through the construction area onto the dirt and then lost it. Again, we're getting a little bit tighter here. I want to see if this guy makes an effort to get out of the vehicle. Unclear what this is all about, but again, you just saw that dramatic crash out here. The air unit over it, they are definitely calling. You can see the first units making their way up here on scene. Again, these guys don't know exactly what they're dealing with. This guy might have some mental issues. There might be some other problems with this gentleman, so they're going to have to approach with caution. Again, though, you just saw that dramatic crash out here as this guy basically just barreled through the off the road here and into a wash, lost control, and the vehicle rolled over. Again, I'll be back with you in just a moment. I cannot hear your questions this evening.
Okay, so we're watching now to see if the suspect here is going to get out of this van. We're getting information that this suspect is wanted for a carjacking. He's driving a Kia van, a very fast and dangerous pursuit. It looks like officers are there, but they're approaching very cautiously because they don't know what kind of suspect they're dealing with. But again, a carjacking suspect, and we're watching as they come with their guns drawn. We don't see any movement at the car itself. The driver could be hurt.
Yeah, we're going to see the video again. What just happened here a few minutes ago on the right side of your screen as he's barreling down the road, and then looked like he was going to take a turn, decided not to, and just drives off the road, flipping over and landing in what looks like a wash there right next to the road. Haven't seen any movement so far, so we don't know what's going on in that van, but they are watching very carefully, approaching with guns drawn and waiting to see what has become of that driver. We know from what Stu was telling us that it appeared that there was just one passenger in the car, the driver, that was it, no other occupants. So at least they have that. But once again, this is a carjacking suspect, and so they don't know if this person is armed. You have to assume that the person is dangerous. And once again, they're standing far away right now.
Well, as you said, it looks like he ended down in some kind of a washer or something down there, and it rolled over onto the driver's side. So, one, he could be hurt. Two, he might be okay to get out, but it's going to be pretty difficult for him to get out of a car when he's on its side like that. Stu, can you hear us yet?
Well, yes, I do have you now, sort of, kind of, but yeah, definitely we're also hearing the same carjacking suspect. Unclear if there was a weapon used, and that is one of the concerns they're having, but with a dramatic and violent crash like that, you've got to at least figure that that driver is probably stunned, if not unconscious after a crash like that. LAPD is actually using their helicopter PA system right now to make a call out to tell this guy to get out of his vehicle. You can see some of the officers taking up tactical positions up there with their weapons drawn. This is actually on a closed overpass. This is probably going to be an on-ramp at some time, or was an on-ramp. You can see other officers right there with a rifle coming up out here just to take position to make sure, again, if this was an armed carjacking suspect with that kind of disregard or that kind of recklessness, it's, oh, there you go. You got some movement there. You see, I just saw you saw the driver making his way, popping his head out of there. Apparently, he is at least communicating. I can only wonder what the words he's saying to the officers right now, but he's definitely communicating. You see that broken window. We did see his face there just a moment ago. He is communicating with these officers. This might turn into some sort of crazy standoff right now, but again, this guy, very desperate to get away. He had some kind of weird agenda. We saw reckless disregard for life and property, and talking about property, he's throwing things out of the van. Obviously, this person has some issues that are going to be determined later on. But again, right now, still a bit...
Okay, looks like we're losing the signal for Granada Hills. losing Stu's signal right there, but a dramatic ending to a crash, and we really don't even know the suspect's condition right now. We did see him stick his head out of the passenger side window because the car is now on its side. So there are police officers in the area, but they're approaching him very cautiously because he's a carjacking suspect. We don't know if he's armed. We don't know if he's hurt. We don't know. They don't know for sure if there's anyone else in the car, and so that's why they're approaching very cautiously.
And it's also very difficult to tell from our perspective if perhaps he's jammed in there somehow, whether or not he ended up against some sort of a concrete structure that prevents him from getting out. And maybe, Stu, if you're back with us.
Copy, thank you.
Okay.
Also, if you can
Stu is taking care of some business up there in the skies, but
looks like he might be trying to get out. Is that maybe he's trying to get out
well,
of his back
windshield wiper is moving, so somehow that got set off. And as Stu mentioned, we saw him throw all kinds of stuff out the window. Stu, if you're back with us, is it possible that he's trapped in the car and that he can't get out? Can you tell if he's wedged in there?
Again, just from our altitude, we're watching from quite a distance away, but I would think that he is very mobile inside that vehicle. I do not think that he's trapped. Again, that's just a guess from what we've seen. And he was, like you said, throwing things out of the car. Again, they were saying that this is a carjacking suspect. We believe that this was a vehicle that was carjacked, so this is probably not his vehicle. And, what it did appear that he was throwing out was just random items inside that vehicle. It looked like a floor mat and some other items like that. Again, you said that the wiper had come on. That could be because he's moving around in there. Maybe his foot hit a button or whatever. The vehicle seems to still have power. You've got the lights on there, and like you said, the wipers are going. LAPD is actually starting to set up a tactical situation out here as they're predicting that this might turn into some sort of standoff. Again, this is in the Newhall Pass. We're right at the corner of Balboa, and I believe it's the old road. There's a lot of construction out here, and this road was actually closed. You can see some of the signs there because they've been working out here. I believe that this was actually an on-ramp, an off-ramp off the freeway at one time. You can see the officers out there setting up their positions now, using their cars as something to take cover behind in case this guy is armed. We're going to try to move around a little bit, maybe get a better shot, maybe be able to look inside the car a little bit better. But again, though, it seems that right now this suspect is basically just going to turn this into some sort of standoff as he's going to continue to defy the officers and not come out of this vehicle peacefully.
One of our viewers is actually telling me right now that this is just about a mile from his house, and he says this is Sylmar, right there on the border, right before the Newhall Pass, and that's the LA Aqueduct that he has crashed into. So you do have a kind of it's a sticky situation because you've got him down there. They don't know if he's armed or not, but you've got officers on different levels. So you've got officers on the upper road there that look like they're looking down on him, and then you've got a lot of officers on the ground close to him, but still not approaching the vehicle just yet.
And I'm wondering if this is doing anything to traffic out there, or is it pretty much off to the side where it's not impacting any movement out there on the freeway? What can you tell us about that, Stu?
Well, the freeway. Now there's some more movement going on inside the car. He's starting to throw some other stuff out of the way, out of that vehicle. Still acting very erratic. Like I said, we're going to move around a little bit, see maybe we can get a better angle or see what is going on inside that car.
When he got to this intersection, he couldn't make that turn and just launched himself over the side and crashed into that ravine, overturning. But as we come back out live, you'll see the scene here at the Balboa and Foothill. They're taking him onto the stretcher now, getting ready to transport him off to a local area hospital to check him out before they take him off to jail. So that's the latest from over Sylmar. Let me send it back down to you in the studio.
Tim Lynn in Sky 5, and tonight firefighters in